Welcome to the AG News Show. I'm your host, Roberto Alvarez-Galloso, serving you the best in Americana music. For me, I have the pleasure and honor of having one of the greatest in Minnesota bluegrass music. In fact, she is actually the queen of Minnesota bluegrass music. Her name, Amanda Walbridge. And for me, it's a pleasure and honor having her here in our program here in the rural areas of Miami. We're not in the city. We're like very close to Homestead and the Florida Keys,
That sounds,
close to where they really do the bluegrass and the Americana music. For me, Amanda, it's a pleasure having you here.
it's a pleasure to be here, Roberto. Thank you so much.
For me, it's a pleasure and an honor. Tell me about your career, your beginnings, the present, and how do you see your future? And the
Okay.
new CD that you recorded, which I've heard because I've heard you on YouTube and all the others.
Yes, The Little Things is streaming everywhere now. It has 12 original songs that I wrote, and it features Clay Hess and Tim Crouch. They're both well-renowned bluegrass musicians and artists, award-winning actually. So the instrumentation on this album is really, really good. Um, Well, I was featured on the cover of Minnesota Bluegrass Magazine in August 2025, and I wrote a story about my family's bluegrass roots. And it started with my parents. They were both bluegrass musicians back in the early 60s. When they were young and falling in love, they played all over Minnesota and country and bluegrass bands and were a part of starting the Minnesota Bluegrass and Old Time Music Association, which celebrated their 50th anniversary last year. So it was really fun. They were honored with their picture and a screen slideshow, and of course, the story in the article that talked about how they started the Platte Valley Boys. It was a really kind of popular band regionally here for the last 50 years. The surviving members recently retired, but my dad actually was inducted into the Minnesota Music Hall of Fame for his part in that band. So I had always looked up to my parents and really appreciated the music that they would bring into my life. They taught me how to sing and play guitar. They both played many instruments, so it was, very inspiring. But my brother Chris, my older brother, he was in a bluegrass band too called the Ohop Valley Boys, and took a bunch of songwriting contests down at the IBMAs in the year 2000. So I had a lot to live up to with my older brother and my parents. My mom had won a song singing talent contest in high school. So everybody in my family had gotten, albums and CDs and had all these stage performance experiences and awards, and I didn't. And so I thought, well, where's my talent? What do I do that the rest of my family can't do? And it was songwriting. They were doing a really good job playing other people's songs, but they didn't write their own. So I started writing at a young age. Around the age of 7, I was in first grade, and I remember my choir teacher asking us all to write a verse for the Three Little Pigs, like if we had to make up a theme song about the nursery rhyme of the Three Little Pigs. And I can't even tell you exactly what my lyrics were, but she really liked them. And so my first solo on stage was singing the verse. It was a 3-verse song, and I was verse 3. And I just felt so proud in it. I was just so happy, and it made me want to write more songs. So as I got older, the songs got a little bit more complicated and more adult. And I found that I really had a niche for writing bluegrass songs. No surprise there. On my first album, Waking Up. Waking Up was kind of a mix of all kinds of different songs I had written over my lifetime. And the bluegrass songs were the most popular, and they made the radio here. And so I made a friend with the bluegrass DJ Phil Nussbaum, who has a local radio bluegrass show here. and we wrote a song together called Longing, which was on my second studio album, Sunshine in the Valley. And he was the banjo player for the studio sessions because I didn't have a band. I was hiring studio musicians. And we had a great time and made a great friendship there. And so he encouraged me to keep writing. And I found a new producer. I worked with four different producers. I moved on to Dan Durlou at Reverb Echo Studios in Hugo, Minnesota. And he really liked my classic country sound. He heard a bunch of demos. I pitched to him a bunch of songs, probably 14 songs, and he really liked the song Last Goodbye. And I actually wasn't a huge fan of the song, but he said, no, this is really your niche. This bluegrass, prime country, classic country sound, that's where you should be. And I told him that, I was from a family band that had done that type of music. So it made sense that that's where I sounded the best. So I wrote three songs. We recorded those on an EP, and he said, write some more. And so I started writing some more. And he said, I have a surprise for you. Your guitar hero, Clay Hess, is coming to town. And he's got some time, and he's a friend of mine. And I could get him to record your music if you had songs. And so I wrote fast and furiously, like probably 19 songs in 3 months.
Mhm.
And I pitched them to him, and they liked 12 of them. And we recorded them. And that's the 12 songs that are on The Little Things, which is out now. And a lot of the songs, like The Little Things, the title track, it talks about how my parents grew up in extreme rural Minnesota. They were born in the 40s and raised in the 50s as kids in homes that didn't have indoor plumbing, didn't have indoor heating, didn't have electricity. They had an outhouse. And my mom was on a dairy farm down in Elko, Minnesota, and my dad was up in Eveleth, Minnesota, just way out in the woods. This was back in a time where, there was probably one family car, and it was a really big deal to drive into the nearest town to get supplies for like the month. And they had to farm the land to grow fruits and vegetables and can them to live off of them in the winter. And they had to pump water from a well, and they had single wood burning stoves, so they had to chop wood for warmth. And all of these stories about their childhood really inspired me to, well, write about it, but to be really grateful, really appreciative of all the little things that we have in modern life, especially here in America. It's unbelievable to think that there are still people in the world that don't have these little things in life that we just take for granted every day. I think about it every time I turn on the water faucet or water my plants from a hose without having to pump water from a well and carry buckets. Um,
Great. How do you see your future
my
in
future.
bluegrass music?
Well, I'm playing some bluegrass festivals this summer. I kind of put together a band of friends from MBATMA, that's the Minnesota Bluegrass and Old Time Music Association. So I use professional recording studio musicians for my albums that I release officially, but then to bring those songs to live audiences, I have friends, very talented friends that back me up, and I just kind of grab whoever's available for the next show. But we do have two shows scheduled in March. One's a bluegrass festival, and then one's a bluegrass showcase. And I have another festival in August, and I'm booking all the time. So I'm still making fans and playing live. But some of the exciting things are I've well self-nominated for many awards, and we'll see if I get one this year. Right now, I'm looking at maybe getting a Josie Award or a Midwest Country Music Organization Award, or possibly an IBMA, which is the International Bluegrass Music Association. So I'm just trying to network and get my music out there. I got on two Spotify playlists recently, and that's been helping to get streams. So just growing my fan base. I also have 7 singles in the works that were also recorded with Clay Hess and Tim Crouch that I'll be releasing as singles as soon as they're ready.
Great. Where can we find your music?
AmandaWalbridgeMusic.com.
In any other place like Spotify, YouTube,
Oh, yes.
Instagram, Facebook?
YouTube, Spotify, all of that. You can see live performances, footage from live performances on my Facebook page, Amanda Walbridge Music Facebook, or on TikTok, Amanda Walbridge Music, YouTube, Amanda Walbridge Music. Otherwise, you can get the streaming services anywhere like Apple, Amazon, Prime Music, Spotify. I've got my whole album on my new website, amandawalbridgemusic.com, and you can listen to it for free there.
Great. Before I talk about how you can find the AG News show, we do have a surprise for you. Since it's your birthday, this is going to be this interview will be counting as a birthday gift. We also did, a just a few minutes ago, we recorded a congratulations to you on your birthday from the countryside here in Florida.
I love it.
Last but not least, you have talked about awards. I still have to see if either Amazon or someone could send me the certificates. But here in the AG News show, we have an annual award. We used to be the Americana Bistro Grill, but last year we changed from the Americana Bistro Grill to the AG News show because the Americana Bistro Grill had already run its course. It was a 10-year show, started in Anna Maria Island, and then we interviewed and we played the music of all of the Americana artists, including the bluegrass artists. But last year, in order to sort of like get up to date, we changed the AG News show, and we're even recognized for the Midwest Country Music Organization Award, even though I'm here in Florida. But we're recognized because, just like you, I'm from the Midwest, from Ohio. But as we were talking about awards, we have just finished our voting in the office here. Our voters have just left after we did the after we filmed your congratulations for today for your birthday, since this is your birthday. We in the AG News show has already voted. Number one, we're going to send you the invitation right now. If you accept, we will be getting that. We will try to get you the award as soon as possible. We in the AG News show have voted by absolute majority to award Amanda Walbridge the AG News show Queen of Minnesota Bluegrass Music. This is not an annual award. Other people will get the annual award. This is a lifetime award.
Wow. Thank you. I accept wholeheartedly and humbly and graciously.
This is a lifetime award. This is an award that's going to be with you. You don't have to. This is not to pass to any future generations. This is for you and for you alone. I'm going to see if Amazon or some other agency will gladly provide us with the certificate so that we could print it out, and then we can mail it as soon as possible. But right now, let me write it down so that I don't forget either, because here we have a lot of people, and with a lot of people, we forget many times. You are now proclaimed the Minnesota Bluegrass Queen with the AG News show for life.
Thank you. Thank you. I just don't have words to thank you enough.
You don't have to thank us. You earned the award after what we have read about you, after we saw on YouTube. You've already captured a lot of people around the world, not just in America, with some of the people I knew, but also some of the relatives I have outside of America.
That's amazing.
You earned the award. We'll be talking about it later up for the details.
Okay.
For the AG News Show, you can find us in YouTube, BitChute, Brighteon, Gab, Rumble. You can also find us in VContact. You can also find us at Wix. And you can also find us in LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. And you can also find us in Zelle. Can you find us in Zelle? We are like the Minnesota Public Radio and Public Television and Prairie Radio. Prairie Radio and Minnesota Public Radio, as well as public television in Minnesota and all over America, runs on donations. They do not run on commercials. The AG News Show the same. We do not have commercials. We do not have big corporations sponsoring us. We do have one thing in our favor: donations. Why do we need donations? In order to have great music, such as the music of Amanda Walbridge. Those who are interested in donating can go to Zelle, and you could write this following email address: R as in Rhode Island, C as in Colorado, A as in Alabama, G as in Georgia, 62@gmail.com. And donate what your heart's content. The rest is the rest. I also invite Amanda Walbridge to invite other people from the Midwest Country Music Organization or any other artists that you may know in the Midwest or outside of the Midwest to please come to the AG News Show. We are here not for myself. We're not here for the show. We are here to promote the artists. Why? Because talent in America is not limited to the East or the West Coast. You can find very hidden talent inside the United States, in the Midwest, the Rocky Mountains, in the South, anywhere. And it is not fair that this talent is being ignored. So Amanda, I do invite you.
I will pass you along to all of my friends for sure.
But thank you very much. Without much, this is Roberto Alvarez-Galloso of the AG News Show saying God bless you and peace in, peace out, and peace everywhere.
Thank you.
1 minute.